Because, yeah, Joel was just laughing about this a few minutes ago. Look, okay, there's not a lot going on next week for games, all right? Like,
Obviously.
that's literally where we are, is like these games. And it's like, why else would I pick those games? Like, I don't care about these games at all.
I feel like if we don't have a lot of what?
Don't have a lot of.
If we don't have a lot of news, we should just stick to not trying to
Is the Easter egg still here?
stuff it with crap.
I was about to say, like, why are they showing me for a restaurant for an ad for a restaurant if I don't have one anywhere near me?
What?
Oh,
Right.
Okay.
Uh,
A restaurant ad, what?
yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah, we're talking.
Oh,
You got two things.
how much shit did I get?
One's mine.
Give me one of them so I can open up. I don't even know what happened to the scissors. Oh.
No, ready to rate.
Did it, what?
I don't know. What are you talking about, Mel?
I don't know.
Hmm?
Oh man, my face hurts.
Yeah, it's hurting me plenty. That.
What are you playing right now, Clay?
I am playing one of the single greatest video games of all time, GTA Vice City.
Surprise, surprise.
I just finished out 3 this morning, so I moved on to Vice City.
So did you read about the whole release fiasco and what Rockstar did?
Oh yeah, I've been staying on top of that.
So you get, for the PC players, I guess they get the classic PC game.
Yeah, they're giving them the classic trilogy for free,
Four.
which I mean,
What's that for?
Sure, it's a nice gesture, but it's like you already have the better version. Why would you?
Oh, okay.
Like, unless you're just a hater, yeah, there's no need to have the old version anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, stock stuff.
Do you don't want to move your face?
It's not sharp enough to really do any damage, but
Smash your face.
yeah. Yeah, true. Alright. That's nice. What is it?
Credit card.
That's a new one.
Mm-hmm. Never heard about stolen my life.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah, well, we already got a lot of that stuff, so that's going in the shredder.
Mm-hmm.
Close enough. Would have been more funny if he actually reached inside the shredder and it shredded itself.
You're asking too much.
I know.
Alright.
Whoa.
Bless you. Take it easy.
Why you had one person last night say that your model was a demon model?
Surprising. That's right. I remember that.
I'm like, I like your demon model. It's like, what demon? Wow.
It looks like a demon, but it's a dragon.
And her
Yeah.
wings have scales.
Yeah.
I think everybody's too used to seeing VTubers with demon.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Okay.
Perfect. Switch channel.
To
8
the
minutes.
Twitters.
What's that?
Twitters?
I said to the Twitters.
Yeah, 8 minutes.
Okay. Perfect.
Clay's always gonna find something funny.
No, it's San Andreas, like, I don't know if you guys can see it's on my Twitter feed. It's like basically CJ fighting the cops in midair.
Is
Wow.
it a bug?
I was like, that's awesome.
Is it a bug?
Yeah, probably. It's basically the texture for the bridge that he's on didn't load.
Oh, so it sees through.
Yeah, that's funny. The game, I know I'm a fanboy, and I love this new definitive edition and everything like that. But I do think I think the internet is crying a little hard for like the games were buggy 20 years ago. The fact that they're still buggy shouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah, the GTA classic game.
It's like, oh, I just fell through the ground, and it's like, yeah, that happens. It's like, oh man, like this car is like indestructible. What the hell's going on?
Yeah,
It's like,
I wonder
Oh,
if their interpretation or the majority of the society's interpretation of something being upgraded from its original version doesn't necessarily mean like they took the original code. They didn't apply fixes.
They didn't rebuild the game. It is literally it is a port of a port of a port of the PS2 version.
Right.
So it's like it's still the 20-year-old game. They just made it prettier.
So it's kind of like Halo Definitive Edition, where it's just you're able
Master
to
Chief Collection or something.
Yeah, you're able to switch back and forth. And
you
it's
can't
just
switch back and forth on this, but it's like it's just a new coat of paint.
Yeah,
like
that's it.
It's still a junky car.
And the only fixes that I would think that they applied are the ones that just allow them to HD it up. That's it.
Yeah, it's still a buggy game, but it's like this is supposed to be the definitive edition and all that. It's still a great game. You just if you're used to it, it's like, I mean, I'm used to Vice City and 3 being buggy as shit. That's like the part of the charm of the game, you know?
Right. I don't know.
People say,
I think if you keep on pacifying or legitimizing people's complaints, no matter how minuscule they are, as companies, if they continue to do that, they're just gonna continue to fuel more of this crap. You know what I mean? Like, just don't pay attention to them. Like, I understand if something is broken and they can't play the game.
Yeah, the latest patch that just went in, like yesterday, has already fixed a bunch of stuff, which is good. It is helping the quality of life of the game. So they are working on it right now. It's just everybody losing their mind over this. There was something last week. People are saying like this is the next Cyberpunk, and it's like, no. Like, it's not.
Cyberpunk had
it's
even
not
less of an excuse.
Yeah, it's not even remotely as bad as Cyberpunk. The game is playable. I just finished 3 this morning. It is from start to end, no problem.
Was Cyberpunk released during COVID time?
Yes, it was.
Technically, yeah.
See, everybody.
It was like in November, so.
In my mind, a lot of companies get a pass during COVID time.
Has it been a year since it's been released?
It's been, or it'll be a year next month.
Yeah.
Jeez, where's the time go?
I'm still waiting for my next gen versions.
Yeah.
I have the game. I got it for $10 at Best Buy because it was on sale, and it was like, it's been sitting sealed in a box. I'm just waiting.
Ambrose hasn't even touched his copy of the game on Steam.
Yeah. I'm still waiting. Once they say, hey, it's going to be released for Xbox Series X, finally, I'm going to be like, okay, I guess I'll try it out.
Give an honest review.
Man. We'll see.
All right.
Clay, I'm the one that's still waking up here. You shouldn't be rubbing your eyes like you're just waking up.
I've been up since like 6 a.m., so 6 hours ago. So
why do you do that to yourself? It's not even a weekday.
Because I'm used to waking up that early, so my body just says, hey, you're up now.
Your body doesn't even tell your brain, like, oh, by the way, it's Saturday. No need to clock in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just up.
I usually
Mine does that too.
I wake up at like 5:15 in the morning. But if I know that I'm not going to be working the next day, it's like my body's just like, shutdown mode now, commencing.
Yeah. Every now and then I'll do that. But I mean, I still have to get up and like let the dogs out and feed them and all that stuff. And it's like, so I'm usually awake anyway.
Yeah.
Gotta do some adult responsibilities.
Responsibilities.
Yeah.
All right, we're here.
Stupid.
We're ready to go live. Chat, I don't know who's out there because we're broadcasting on a lot of different networks.
Everything,
including Twitters for some reason.
On the
all
Twitters.
the things.
On the Twatters.
On the Twatters.
You can chat on Twitter.
Apparently you can. I don't know. I think it's just comments, but you're able to see the stream on Twitter.
Oh.
But we won't be able to see their comments, I don't think.
Next thing we'll be on is Reddit somehow. I don't know.
We'll be on Reddit. Their new platform. and then they're gonna partner up with Facebook for the metaverse, and then they're gonna follow everything
I've
up.
already seen that, like a few of the stuff on like my phone. Like when
Yeah.
you're loading it up, it has like the meta, like.
Yeah. All right. Let's get going. Hey, what's up, Umbros? Let's take a look. And Clay,
Where can you do? I'm looking on Twitter, and I don't know this stuff, right? Like,
we know you don't.
I don't get it.
Nah.
What do I do?
How do I end user this?
What do I do? I don't. Oh, so like if I put a comment in there, it'll show up like in our chat deal.
I don't know if it does or not.
Yeah,
That's all
unlikely.
restream and whatnot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think
Whatever.
a lot of people like live cast on Twitter unless they're like a big major news place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Kind of sucks. Let's take a look. I'm taking a look. Media. Yeah, so we're live right now. Cool bean.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? We're ready for this week.
I guess.
Mel, you awake? You awake yet?
We're here, so
I
might as
mean,
well.
Might as well, right?
Yeah.
No.
No,
Did
like
we
I-
lose you? Hey!
Somebody like
Hi.
spray her with water or something.
Yeah. All right,
Son.
let's get going.
She like rears up.
For our weekly Game News Live podcast. Be a part of the show by joining us at nerdjunkies.com.
I don't want
Live Saturdays, 12 noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Oh man,
With your
what a week.
host, console fanboy,
Feels
Yeah.
like we were just here.
our resident OG, Matt.
It's kind of like that's how it works.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
It's weekly.
By the way, I touched up on, or I followed up on
Like,
Kaiba about all the 3D renderings and whatnot, and he's still working on them because he's in between projects. I don't know if anybody knows this about. I think it's Kaiba. He does the Red Dragon Studio stuff. He did he did most of the 3D stuff for I think it was WWE the latest one, 2022 or something like that. 2K game.
That one comes out next year.
Oh, is it? Because
Yeah,
he was showing me
2K22.
like everything that he did for it, and he did all
Yeah.
the like the walk-in intros, the graphics in the background in the video. I'm like, damn, dude, like you're moving up in the world. But yeah, he
That's
said he's
cool.
doing a couple of
That-
commission jobs, and he's working on ours afterwards.
I'm really hey BK. I'm
Hey,
really
BK.
curious about WWE 2K22 because if you guys remember this, like 2K20 when that came out, it was such a broken mess of a game. It was like it was horrendous.
Mm.
And like basically 2K games, and I think it was Jax Interactive or somebody else. It was like whoever their go-to developer for these games, they basically were just like, we're done. Like that's it. Like this is so bad. We're like, you're out. See ya. And then they released earlier this year. They released that like kind of cartoony one, like WWE Battlegrounds or something like that. And it was terrible also because it was just it was just a microtransaction crap like cash grab. It was terrible.
Yeah, they
And
keep
so
on trying
it's-
a lot of different things just to bring that into like the video game medium. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah,
like
yeah.
hyper realism. I think hyper realism is the thing.
Hey
that's
BK,
gonna
thank
work.
you.
Hey, thanks for the
Thank
bit,
you.
BK. Hyper realism is the one that's the most popular, right?
Well, so yeah, I mean, like, okay. I don't know. I like arcadey wrestling games, like that game that we talked about like a few months ago, Retro Mania Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I got to play it a little bit. It's like that game's really fun. Or if you play like, and we're gonna go back to like the PlayStation 1 days. If you ever play like the WrestleMania game that's on that, it's very arcadey, very over the top, and it's super fun. Those 2K games though, like year after year, because like me and Cinder can play those a lot. Like we love pro wrestling stuff, and so he gets them every year because actually a buddy of his works at 2K, so he gets them like super
Oh,
cheap.
that's cool.
And it's So, but it's like when he gets those and we play them every year, it's like the same bugs are around every year.
Yeah.
And it's like, so all they're really doing is just like Madden level, like roster updates, you know, like, oh, this guy is now called this, or
Kinda
he now
destroys the whole,
wears
like-
blue. Yeah.
Kind of destroys the whole saying of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But it is broke.
But it's broke.
Yeah.
That's the problem. It's like those
So
games
they're
are
using
such
the
a
same
mess.
engine.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's the same engine. All they're doing is roster updating. It's awful. And so that's why I'm like I saw an article the other day about 2K22, because it's like they're putting in this like general manager game mode now where you can like manage your wrestlers, not actually do the wrestling.
Yeah.
They're putting that in, and something about the new campaign story for it. And I was like, I really hope they completely threw away everything from the past.
Yeah.
And just like, because they have a new development team now, so it's like maybe they'll be able to make a good wrestling game.
Right.
I don't know.
So I think now it's time to talk about game releases because we got BK's attention. This might be a great substitute for his PES/FIFA/ whatever soccer manager game that they were looking about.
Soccer.
So BK already follows the world's most popular sport.
Popular, yes.
Popular.
It's
If you
quite
guys
right.
didn't know this, soccer is the world's biggest sport.
Yeah.
Every country plays soccer.
Yeah.
They don't play football.
Yeah.
You know, they don't play basketball. They play soccer. That's why the World Cup is the biggest sporting event on the planet.
Right.
So how about we give him true story, the second most popular sport.
Yeah, I'm ready for this one. This might be
Yeah.
able to tickle your fancy. All right.
Yeah.
We're got Cricket 22.
Cricket 22, guys. Look, both of these yahoos, these two, have already got on me for this week's new releases. Okay, this is not a good week for video
story.
games. Like this is not a big week. Okay, so
we have not only is this like, first of all, how do you play cricket? Right.
this is the actual developer's website, by the way.
Right.
Gigant Studios.
And this is
how flashy and big this is.
So
Like this is how like
this is being
yeah.
developed by Big Ant Studios.
yeah.
And then when you take a look at the game page, it's literally like the text. And then when you take a look at it, what's the news on this game? Sorry, no news for this time. Oh, so your game release for this week is not newsworthy? It's like
This looks like something I could have made in high school.
Yeah, this is
like
class.
like a GeoCities page or
yeah,
something.
this is
like
like
that.
this is literally like a WordPress template right here.
Yeah,
This is
and
it.
I was like, okay, cool.
I'm
I've-
I'm not having high hopes for the game only because their presentation for even promoting this thing is looking hot.
I'm curious, seeing as cricket is the number 2 sport in the world. Like every country plays cricket also.
Right.
I'm very school project 2022 exactly. I'm very curious if even okay, like obviously America doesn't really care about cricket. We have pro cricket teams just like we have pro soccer teams. I wonder if countries outside of America are like, oh my god, Cricket 22 is coming, we're buying it. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm curious. Like
I think
cricket's played in England, it's played in India, it's played in Australia. It's like I wonder if the Australian game market is like, oh crikey, Cricket 22. Oh,
I'm gonna go stand in line at the old GameStop.
yeah. It's
No,
like,
wait, it's not GameStop. What is it?
I believe in Australia it's just game, isn't it?
Game.
Yeah.
I think so.
This
Very
is
clever.
almost as bad as like a badly developed like game that says placeholder.
Yes. Game title. Yeah.
Catchphrase.
Catchphrase. Yeah. No, I'm just like I said, slow week, guys.
Look
Okay?
at
Slow week.
AO
Wait,
tennis too.
there's something.
Look, they got that one down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying with that.
And then
but
cricket.
with
Cricket. The bigger sport.
Yes,
The bigger sport.
their potential moneymaker.
know-
Here you go.
You know, now I'm thinking, where's the Mario cricket game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's Mario Tennis, there's Mario Golf, there's Mario Baseball, there's no football game, but it's
I don't remember seeing basketball for Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
I guess they didn't have too many ethnic inclusive characters to start.
There are no
doing.
black people in the Mushroom Kingdom.
They
Though,
really
so it's like, you know, it's
Yeah, nobody's slamming
know.
on that backboard anytime soon.
maybe some of those like the Pianta people from like Sunshine, aren't they like darker or something?
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe the camera holding cloud thing that might be able to
like Lakitu. Yeah.
But yeah, there's none of that. So I mean, I guess the only other thing that we can do for game releases is present you with a more popular game but a less popular subject.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So now we have Farming Simulator 22.
Farming Simulator.
More than likely will have way more sales for some reason than Cricket.
I don't know why these are always popular.
I don't know
either. These actually sell well. I think that's crazy. Farming Simulator actually does well. So like that's why they keep making like you know gamers like us are going to be like, why? These actually have a place. People buy these, it's like
I need Squally to tell us exactly what this has to do, because the majority of people that I ever meet that like farming or anything simulator, except Flight Simulator, the only people that I ever know are usually based in the UK or overseas, and I don't understand. Like, I need someone to let us know what is it about these games that just drives them to want to spend $60 worth of digital goods.
Like,
wait a minute. I just say that right. It said like Farming Simulator League.
There's a
esports,
league?
esports, e-farms.
How is there a farming simulator league? I need to dive into
go to
this
that.
world.
Click on that. Click on that.
Please.
I'm afraid now.
Yeah, do it, man. We gotta see if there's like
€1,000.
We gotta see if there's like you know, some like ringer Korean teams or something like that. You know, like John Deere brings in like an all Korean team to work, you know, to do their farming simulator championships.
Yeah, I want to have somebody really like do a Vice News deep dive into these things, into the seedy underworld of farming simulator players.
You're gonna have those Counter-Strike level controversies going on.
We found a program running behind him. We had to ban the entire team. I was like, okay.
What are they doing?
They were fixing matches.
Yeah, they were fixing matches against like
failing hay too fast.
Yeah, so everyone lurking in on the chats. If you play Farming Simulator, you know someone or whatnot, hit us up on the Discord, because we don't have a lot of examples of people who enjoy playing these games, and we'd like to grow our community to include those people, because we want to understand. I even have a problem like trying to understand Flight Simulator people, because you're literally like, I can see how you're enjoying going on a flight, but then there's like, is it because of the technical aspect of how to get off the ground, or is it because you haven't understand how enjoyable like TIE Fighter or X-Wing are?
I know flight sim like enthusiasts, and they love it. Like they like having that whole big console with like a million buttons and levers and, you know, all that stuff. They love it, but and I've played Microsoft Flight Sim, the new one, like on my Xbox, and I see how it's cool, but it's also like, I'm gonna fly to Phoenix or something, you know, like I'm gonna fly to New York City, and it's like, all right, that's 8 hours.
Yeah.
In real time.
So
it's like
Does your bus anyone?
So even in a flight simulator, there is no like fast travel kind of mechanic.
No, there is. Yeah, like you can just kind of just basically teleport around. Like you can just be like, hey, put me here now, and it just kind of says, okay, there you go. But it's like, but for the people out there who are like really into it, it's like, man, that's a multi-hour flight. You're just gonna sit there, like you're just gonna sit there and look at your instruments,
look at your dials.
Yeah.
your blinky lights and be like, "Yep, autopilot."
I mean, I've seen like a couple
Alright.
videos of some people who have like extravagant like setups to do
Yes.
this like whole RP
The-
thing.
The HOTS or whatever controller. HOTAS.
Yeah.
Yeah, those kind of setups rival like even my own. Like I think about it and I'm just like, no, I would need a completely different desk for me to implement like a full featured. It's almost like those Vibe people who do the full motion tracking on their body.
Yeah.
Right? Like they look for controllers that are just like, nope, I need to have it in this setup so that way my immersion is exactly the way it is on my screen. You know, like, and the one thing that gets me is like games like Star Citizen. They support those things. Granted, they're sci-fi, right?
Yeah.
But the integration on the controllers makes me wonder, are you guys prioritizing controls more than you are finishing the game? Like, dude, when they move the controls on whatever, as long as they match, the hands on the damn game move with it. And so
I
if
don't
you're
think Star
throttling
Citizen
up,
is
it
actually-
moves it up.
I don't think Star Citizen is actually ever going to release.
You don't think
like-
they will? You think they'll like cut and run after like
This
popularity goes down?
Hmm.
Every single year they have an event and they rake in money with the promises that they never deliver until three other conventions down. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, we finally delivered on that one thing we promised 3 years ago.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It wasn't
It's
6
funny.
months. It was 3 years later.
Yeah.
Bird hits my windshield. My immersion.
Yeah. but granted, it's an impressive game. It's just not finished, right? It's impressive because
Game.
of everything you can do with it, or that's potentially possible, but it's never going to release. And I'm having a hard time believing I'm having a hard time believing that you're not going to need a pixel collider level freaking computer just to be able to do everything in that game. But whatever. All right, let's talk some more casual games because I'm pretty sure, some of our older audience is going to jive kind of okay with this. I don't know, Clay, what's your take on the re-releases of Disney classic games?
So, again, really reaching for new releases to talk about this week. Okay, like these are not that exciting. These games are great, by the way. Like these like Super Nintendo and Genesis Disney games, these are awesome. These are a lot of fun. These have technically already been re-released. They're just now re-releasing it again, and they're adding the Jungle Book game into it this time. Like I said, dry week. Okay.
Yeah.
Dry.
Well, hold on though.
Yeah,
we have an answer to the simulator
Yeah.
question. I don't know if you're seeing this on the chat. Shylor,
Oh,
welcome,
Shylor.
Shylor.
Welcome.
There's a lot of players that like logistics games. Look into Foxhole. Not sure what that is. There is a huge arm of the game that just does work for play.
I don't know
So
what Foxhole is.
so
Oh,
work
Foxhole
for
is
play.
a,
So basically you're doing the job and that's your
Hmm.
game.
Foxhole
So-
game is a cooperative sandbox multiplayer game. I guess it's based on World War One. It's Foxhole: Persistent World Warfare.
Interesting. Well, I wonder if we'll have to look more into that one because the issue is not what you're trying to do with the farming simulator is trying to extract what about it do you enjoy. Because when I think logistics and trying to be efficient at a game because it's a job in real life and you want to just see how you can do it in a game, it doesn't come off as a game to me personally. It comes off as a job. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know how to really enjoy those things.
I will say, like, to the whole job as a game defense thing, like, that's what Papers, Please was, and that game was awesome.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That is
Yeah.
that is an enjoyable game for about an hour.
Oh, man. I love that game. It's so good. But yeah, it's like that's basically a job type game.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're just checking
I guess
IDs.
most
stuff.
MMOs, like right now I'm on New World, right? And surprisingly enough, I have finally reached level 60 on New World, and I thought I was going to drop off at like 15. Right? Whereas the New World community as a whole has dropped off substantially. I don't know if you've been following like the player base and whatnot.
I've been keeping an ear open on it. Yeah.
But the one thing that I'm trying to relate to it in this whole thing is that I enjoy gathering things and then bulking up my skills. And that's a job, right? I'm not battling boars 24/7. I'm not going into dungeons or anything like that. And those things are fun when you can finally get a group and whatever going together. But just walking around, maybe it's just me getting into my old age now that I'm just like, this is nice. I'm making a garden. I'm building my own place. You know what I mean? Like I'm learning how to cook more advanced, meals and whatnot.
You're getting into Skyrim territory.
I am, man. I'm just like, what's
I would say he's dancing with The Sims right now.
Yeah. And I'm like, and you know what I thought? I'm like, okay, right now my wife doesn't have a substantial PC to be able to run New World at decent frames. And I will not introduce her to like the game unless it's like butter smooth. You know what I mean? But
I was gonna say, what kind of house are you running right now?
I know. Don't bring it up. But
he's got to have the 3080s.
Hey man, you got any GPUs?
Hey man.
Yeah. But here's the thing, like I automatically thought of my wife when I was like playing New World and how she always, I don't know if you have her for a friend on her Steam or not her Steam, her EA Play Origins or whatever. She has one game. Okay? And that's the game she loves, and she's gonna stick with it, and it's Sims 4. And she will play that game several times, restart several families and whatnot. I'm like, you know what? It would be kind of cool to marry these two things in an MMO and just either live casually or go out and dungeon quest, right? This New World game has kind of a bit of both. And the one thing that I thought would attract me and keep me playing in New World was the crosshair and the musket play. No, it's just gathering. It's just gathering and making mats or taking mats and making more advanced items. That's it.
That could work.
It really
if you were to like that could work. Like let's say there's full Sims-esque gameplay inside of New World.
Yeah.
Your wife could play with you.
Right. Yeah.
And she would just do the Sim stuff all day.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, "Hey, I want to put a new dining room table in," or something like that. And you're like, "Oh, I need to go collect all this crap for that to work. Right. So I'm gonna go quest over here and get you that stuff." So then you go and hack and slash and kill and stuff like that. And you bring it back and go, "Here you go."
There you go. So here's the cool thing about it. And again, I'm not meaning to get off topic, but the thing that I thought was amazing, and I don't know who thought about this, they're an indie developer, even though they're backed by Daddy Bezos, Jefe Bezos, is when you try to get furniture for your house and there's taxes and everything in a town, right? You can either learn to build up that skill and find new ways of building new furniture and whatnot, or if you go do dungeons, you can find, or any sort of event that you're fighting mobs, you can find recipes and you can hand those over to anyone you want. So if I find a whole bunch of recipes about building tables or anything like that, or chests, or even trophies, I could just hand them over to my wife and be like, yeah, go ahead and learn them, and then you can just build them if you want.
See,
but
I think
it's that level of inclusion that I thought was amazing. And so I'm grasping at strings to try to find out if the simulator games, if that's the aspect that they enjoy, right? Because that's the only thing I can relate to.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's Rudy Tooty aim and shooty. You know what I mean? Like that's
No, it's like I'm totally thinking about this as like a game now. It's like you see it as I'm just gonna put it out there, say WoW or Diablo or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She plays the game and it's Animal Crossing.
correct.
And it's like that, but having both of those type things in the same game, it's like, wow, that's a really cool idea.
But then to execute that properly, it has always been like the crux of the video game industry, right? Like it's always been like you either got this done really well, and then this is just a hey, by the way, we put multiplayer, even though there's no reason why we should put multiplayer into a single player game kind of feeling.
Right.
But the advantage that New World has is that they suck at both. So you might as well, you start from the bottom anyway, so you're building up. But anyways, I just hit level 60. It's
Nice.
pretty amazing. I'm enjoying the game for mostly the gathering and the skill set stuff, but now I'm just like, okay, now I'm in end game mode. Now I get to go do the more advanced dungeons with other people, and the community's been pretty okay.
Cool.
I'm just glad that it's not like release week where it was just like, I need to queue up to fight a boar. Where's the line? Oh, back there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do it tomorrow.
That's a long line.
Yeah. All right. But anyways, let's go back to Disney. Thank you for Shylor for giving us some level of perspective for that, because we didn't even know about Foxhole or anything like that. So we'll research that up and make
Everybody
sure you join us
go
on
go
Discord.
play Foxhole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join
And they
us on
just joined the
Discord.
Discord.
Yeah, because we have quite a community already going up. I think we're at Discord is 113 members now. Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so what's the deal with these Disney classic games?
Aladdin on the Genesis is amazing.
Okay.
And if you're gonna play anything in this collection, play Aladdin on the Genesis.
On the Genesis?
Anytime I like watch anybody play these things, it's always Lion King because of the difficulty.
Because Lion King is hard.
Yeah.
That's why.
bro, it
Like
is.
Lion King is stupid hard, and that game sucks. And I've never beat it, and it's hard.
You've never beat it?
No.
Mel?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
I hate rage games.
Wait a second. Clay, have you beat Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
No.
Don't look at me.
It's under the same class of game. The unbeatable Mike Tyson Punch-Out is
Really?
on par with the SNES or Genesis
I would say
Lion King. What's up,
I would
Robert?
say
Thank you for
I would say
coming.
Punch Out, I would say, is easier than the Lion King.
What?
I would say so because, okay, although I've never beat Mike Tyson, I can't, like, I'm pretty sure I could if I actually just dedicated like a couple hours to it, because like every other character that you fight in that game, like every other boxer that you fight, he just has patterns you have to memorize.
Right.
That's it. And usually once you're past the first minute and a half, this is just tangent on Mike Tyson's Punch Out real quick. The first minute and a half is when he throws the one hit knockdowns.
Right.
That's it. Like he just, and it's just,
And you're
boom,
done,
that's
right?
it. Yeah. If you can get past the first minute and a half, which there are ways to do that, like easily without having to microsecond dodge or anything like that. If you can get past that first minute and a half, it basically becomes an easier fight because he can't just one hit knock you out anymore. Once you're in round 2, if you can get to round 2, his patterns are actually really easy to get down.
I always felt like the NES
Mhm.
inputs were not as advanced as what the game was expecting you to be able to do with the inputs.
Yeah.
So I always felt like the NES, it's rigged against you because the input polling rate is probably not fast enough for you to be able to react to those.
Yeah, I mean, you can dodge him.
You have to let
you
him
have to-
bite your ear. What's up, Dark?
This is way before that. Come on, this is way before that. But yeah, it's like Tyson's actually. I've seen enough people beat him because I watch speedruns all the time, right? Like I've seen enough people beat him to where as long as you get to round 2, it's pretty much autopilot at that point. Like
Isn't
like
there
it's
also kind of a cheat way It's like
Well-
there's like somebody that blinks or something like that in the background.
Oh yeah. So I think there's a character or something like that blinks, and then that's pretty much their telltale sign of they're about to do something or some whirlwind fucking move or whatever.
That's what people say. I've seen like a video on it where people try to describe it, but if I have Tyson in front of me, I'm going to be so focused on dodging punches, I'm not going to look for somebody in the audience.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, like if you can survive that first minute and a half, it's basically smooth sailing after that.
I wanna meet someone that has beat both Mike Tyson and Lion King, and we will give away 2 internet points.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. 2 whole ones. Yeah.
Out of the reserve that we have, you're gonna go into the vault.
Yeah. Out of our reserve vault of current balance of 2.1 internet points.
Hey,
I just have
you're
to.
not even gonna give him that 0.1? Ooh.
Yeah. No. We got to keep the account open, so we got to leave a point in there.
I would have to. I would have to break out my NES and like practice Tyson again.
Yeah. But Lion King is a platformer.
Yeah.
That seems to have really bad design. As like the one thing that I remember about Lion King was I finally get to like a Pride Rock level, and that's it. It's almost like the SNE or the NES Ninja or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles level where you didn't know you could just walk over the damn gap.
the little gap.
I don't know if anybody knows what we're talking about, but instead of having to jump, which is what I did as a kid the entire time,
you just walk
somebody
over.
showed me like, oh, you just walk over it.
That was on I want to say the AVGN review when he was playing that game. He was just like, "What? You just walk over it?"
Yeah. Yeah, because there was something at the top that you always hit your head and it would always like automatically put you back down. But yeah, I would lose an entire freaking day just trying to figure that out, and I could never get past it. It's almost like Battletoads, like riding the
Turbo
damn
tunnel.
like bikes.
Turbo tunnel. Yeah,
and I'm like, who? What?
You know what?
Who was your test group? Which children were in your test group?
I will say, I would actually put forth an effort to beat Mike Tyson. Like, I do honestly believe I could do it if I just practiced. I have zero interest in beating Lion King because I think that game is crap. But on the same note, I have never had the urge to want to beat Battletoads either. Because that game is just stupid hard and frustrating. And I don't want to do it.
Another
I
game
usually
that I
quit
the
within
NES.
like 5.
Yeah, like
deaths.
that game is rage quit fuel for me. It's like I hate that game. It's like the first 2 levels are like, oh, it's a co-op little brawler game, cool. And then you get to Turbo Tunnel. Even if you beat Turbo Tunnel, the game just gets harder.
And then by the time
like,
you beat Turbo Tunnel, you're like down to like a life. So the next
like,
levels are already like, I can't make a mistake.
Yeah, that game is just so stupid hard. It's like, and I just don't have the urge to even want to learn how to beat that game. Tyson, I think I could do.
By the way, Shylord just joined us over on the Discord. Welcome to the Nerd Junkies community. Thank you for visiting us. By the way, I don't know if anybody else is aware. I'm pretty sure all our regulars are by now. But we're giving away $25 worth of Steam credits, Steam monies. $25 gift card for anyone who follows us on the Twitch channel.
We're giving away 25 Steams.
Yeah, so if you want to be entered into getting $25 worth of Steam stuff, be one of the first 100 followers on there, and you'll be entered to win the 25. Oh, there we go. Shylord's not. Yay! I don't know where.
Nice.
All right. So, do we have anything to add on the Disney Classic games? Are we excited?
Look, these games are like I said, in this you get the Genesis version of Aladdin, which is a fantastic game. Technically, you also get the Super Nintendo version of Aladdin as well, but it's not as good as the Genesis one.
No?
So there you go. No,
Why do you say it's not as good?
They are 2 completely different games, by the way. Like they were built by 2 different development studios.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. 2 completely different. Like they're both platformers, but it's like they just have different game mechanics. And I've always thought the Genesis version was better. So yeah, it's like it has better gameplay. It actually has like better Jafar fight.
Oh,
It's
man.
and the animation and the music is like way better than the Super Nintendo one. So it's like,
yeah. We're also talking about like different, not as drastically different as form of like technical power, but different enough as an architecture to build them two different games.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, like I said, it was two different developers who made each game, and it's one of those things on the internet. People are always going to argue which one's better. But it's Genesis.
Yeah.
It's just a better game. Yeah.
Yeah. So re-releases of these classic games, these have already been released before, but now you're going to be able to play them on your Switch, Xbox One, and PS4, which kind of goes into an article they were talking about with Phil Spencer about being able to archive and emulate and catalog all these classic games. But we'll get to that in game news. But speaking of game news, I think it is time for game news and stuff. So let's get on going with Xbox celebrates their 20th birthday.
Yeah.
Hooray! And this whole screen just brings back a lot of memories for me. I mean, aside from the 20, but this whole thing is just like,
that was like
me.
The startup of the original Xbox.
Yeah, but it also does remind me that my knees are getting bad and stairs are the enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I hate that. I don't like that.
I hear it.
It's
Like,
crap.
I know. It's
Either
the
way,
worst.
so what do we got here for Xbox celebrating their 20th?
Yeah, so they did the whole big stream earlier this week, a big, party shindig thing. The big highlight.
Halo.
The big highlight everybody was talking about is that they released the Halo multiplayer beta for everyone.
Right.
Like, you no longer have to be insider program. You no longer have to be like registered for a technical preview or anything.
You don't
like
have
that.
to download the useless Forge app just for you to get beta access.
Yeah, this one is basically like you all can play it now. It's on PC and Xbox. It's like download it, play it. It's getting everybody I know who plays it, which is a lot of people because most people like Halo.
One of them.
They say it's great. They're excited with what they're doing. It feels good. It feels like just classic Halo, but upgraded Halo. And they say the battle pass sucks, but apparently that's already being fixed.
Good.
So that's cool. So yeah, if anybody wants to jump into that,
and it's being released on both Xbox and PC at the same time instead of separately. Yeah, which has been kind of Microsoft's whole play on like, hey, you can play our games anywhere, whether you want it on your PC, your Xbox, or even on the cloud on somebody else's PC.
Yep.
You can play our games wherever. Meanwhile, PlayStation over here, well, we have Gaikai.
They have PS Now, which is what they turn Gaikai into.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Well, we have
Nobody
that.
uses PS Now.
Yeah.
No, so Mel, you just said that you are playing this already. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm loving it. It feels like old, like Halo 3 days and stuff like that. Just playing with me. We are having fun with it.
Okay. Awesome. Joe,
So-
have you played this?
I am holding my breath right now because I want to play it and dedicate to it for at least an entire week on the multiplayer aspect of it, but I'm very interested in the single story because the single story just feels from the looks of it, just looks very polished to me, and I want to just dedicate my time to that. But right now, New World Crack has got me hard, bro.
I got you.
And I'm just like, I finally reached that 60, so right now it's like I'm coming down, but I might need like a little upper every now and then, like a little taste. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
just a little thing.
It's just a little. But if you need anything more, you know who to come to, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's.
By the way, kids, don't do crack.
It was like don't smoke crack. But they're doing like the Halo multiplayer beta. They're also I think EA threw some money at them because they're really hyping Battlefield right now, and they announced an a history of Xbox documentary that's coming out on December 13th, which is okay. That's cool. And also the bigger news, I think, for us console plebs is the Xbox backwards compatibility program just got 70 more games added to it.
Ooh.
And
Anything
I'm
noteworthy?
like, we finally have all 3 Max Payne games. And I'm like, that's great, because I love the Max Payne games, and they were never on backwards compatibility.
You know
So
what?
I always had to like break out my original Xbox to play those.
You know, popular idea.
Hmm.
Instead of Rockstar, you know, doing these, you know, refreshes of these games, if they could just take their entire IPs and just do, you know, what do they call them? They're not are they remakes at that point? I always get confused. But completely different game, or completely new game, new code, new graphics and everything, but the same game. And I think Max Payne should be the start of that, because that game was released at the time.
That would be a remake.
Right.
That would be a remake, yeah.
But that game was released around the time where I was young, and video games were taking off, but the story was too dark and too complex for a lot of people to like be like, "Hey mom, can I buy Max Payne?" And they would, you know, if they were savvy parents, they would look at it and be like, "Absolutely not," because that game dealt with so many things in that era that were like reasons for them to go to Congress and ban certain games.
Yeah,
Max Payne had sex,
really
drugs,
dark,
guns, bullet time. Like, it had every reason for it to fail in parents' eyes, but the story was so deep that it even got Marky Mark to do another movie. You know what I mean? It's like, damn. And by the way, the movie ain't bad to me.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's like
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's there are plenty worse video game movies out there. But yeah, Dark Zero, yes, Xbox still does backwards compatibility. These are the final like 76 games. They basically said, these are the final ones. Every other game that we tried to get on backwards compatibility, it was either a technical issue or a legal issue. So they said, like,
that makes sense.
I would think the
really
majority of it is going to be a legal issue.
Probably, yeah. But this also, because of legal issue with backwards compatibility, this kind of leads into this whole conversation about Phil Spencer, right? Like, Phil Spencer is the VP of gaming at Xbox. He wants emulation to be more legaler. More
How
legal.
Can we go more?
I know. He wants so but his thing is like, hey, why don't, like, you have thousands and millions of old video games. Why can't we play those on an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Switch or a PC? Oh, because the license holders haven't re-released it, or they, it's tied up between multiple, people or something like that. It's like, okay, so figure it out. Let's get video games available on any system.
Yeah.
And that's like, and that's,
it's almost sounds like
gaming fans out there.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah.
And then at the same time, companies are like, but it's hard, and I don't want to.
But you get money.
But
don't you like money?
It's like, bro, do you not understand that this whole like movement of microtransactions had made it so that the video game community has opened, or the video game developer community has opened up their minds to additional funds for older games that haven't received a dime since like a year and a half after they released, but they would be making even more money now with new consoles if you just released an emulated version. And then the legal part, yes, I could totally see where that might be like, it would cost us more to litigate this whole situation than to re-release it. So for those use case scenarios, fine, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
never mind.
There are some underrated games that really didn't get like any traction at all, but were like really popular, like really fun games. It'd be the chance for them to actually come into the limelight again and actually get the limelight that it deserves. That it didn't get back in the day.
A lot of cult following games. I mean, I believe there's quite a few games that are like that. Like what was that? Psychonauts was one like that, where it was just like, it didn't get a huge like initial adoption, or they didn't get a lot of money for it, but now it's just like everyone's dying to see like play Psychonauts 2 because it was a cult classic, and then there's the other one.
Psychonauts 2 is getting really good reviews.
Yeah, and it's just like,
Yeah.
had you be able to categorize this game and find out the things that they liked about it, maybe you can actually like release a good game instead of the same rehash crap from last year. A, Assassin's Creed. A, Call of Duty. A, Battlefield. Nah, guys. No, let's just keep on doing the same thing.
Yeah,
different skins. That'll get them going.
Yeah. Roster
Anyway.
update.
But yeah, Microsoft Gaming Chief wants to start cataloging and being able to provide all these games.
Now, very, very obvious here. He is the head of Microsoft, Xbox. You know, he's not telling everybody to start pirating ROMs, right? You know, he wants it to be legal. So, like, if what's a game? Castlevania, Konami re-released that Castlevania Classics collection, and you can play it on your Xbox or your PlayStation or your PC. It's like, it's on Steam. That is a method of preserving older games. That is legal emulation. That's literally like, you're literally playing an emulator that's playing an NES game. That's it. But it's legal. So that's what he wants. He just wants more old games, or games to be able to stick around through console generations.
Now, do you think because it's Microsoft that their level of hypervisor technology is making it easier for older devs, older companies to be able to bring their old games, put them into Microsoft's virtualization technology, and then bring those titles onto it? And that's why they're also gonna gain some popularity on that front?
It could, because, like, for anybody out there who doesn't know this, like, the whole Xbox backwards compatibility thing, they're emulating an Xbox 360.
Right.
That is, like, they figured it out. Like, it wasn't like where Sony put a chip in the PS3, and that chip was capable of playing PS2 games. It's like, it was a hardware emulator inside the PS3.
Right.
Microsoft basically said, we couldn't figure out how to translate, so, like, different architecture. Like, the Xbox Series X runs on x86. The Xbox 360 runs on IBM Power PC. You can't just, like, they couldn't figure out a way to, like, translate that code in a real-time game experience. So they just said, why don't we just build an emulator for the Xbox 360 and put that inside the Xbox One? And they did, and it works beautifully. And so it's like...
And if people don't know this, a lot of Xbox Series X games are now mostly hypervised or virtual machines. They're not even like they're not even like software that you're running just off the Xbox kernel or anything. You're literally running a virtual machine, which is why save states and loading times work so well, is because this whole other virtual machine is running under your Xbox. You can switch games back and forth so quickly.
That's where the whole quick resume on the Series X comes in, where it's like you can just save state like 10 plus games at a time now. And it works. Like it's awesome.
Rampa says here, wouldn't be surprised if they have on-demand KVMs, containers, Kubernetes instances, and that spin up when they are being used to save cycles. I think it is a variation of all those things, and they're not necessarily their code is not necessarily standard to any consumer level like hypervisors, but it's just proprietary for Xbox, and that's what you're dealing with, which is why it's so hard to like crack an Xbox nowadays, is because it's an advanced PC. It's crazy. But yeah, other than that,
it's
all
cool.
the little technical jargon, it's just like, I think Microsoft has aligned themselves to be in a prime spot to say to older developers, say, hey, we have a really large catalog right now of our own games, but let's bring in yours. And then let's just build an even larger catalog, so that way when the next Xbox hits, it's literally just rinse repeat, because all your stuff just works.
And you can get money for it.
And you still get paid.
If it's a good game, people will buy it.
Yep.
And you'll be like, man, we haven't made any money off that game in 40 years. And it's like, now you can. You know? It's like,
especially for those fans who are just like, you wouldn't have been able to reach back in the 90s because the internet was barely a baby.
yeah.
So now you're able to reach a brand new audience where your game failed back then, but it succeeds now. So long as you have proper marketing and the game actually like it's fun. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, let's talk about the opposite of success. Activision.
The opposite of everything good in video games right now.
Oh my god.
I don't want to spend a ton of time on this because it's mostly just negative and horrible. But it is a big deal that's happening in the video game industry right now. So I was like, we have to at least acknowledge it.
To start this off before we go down this path, who here in the chats is aware about everything that's happening in Activision and Blizzard or anything, if at all? But while you're typing that down in the chat, Clay, go ahead.
So as we know, a few months ago, we already covered this months ago, but Blizzard got in big trouble. It turned out that things at Blizzard were not so kosher, especially when it comes to women in the company. Earlier this week, yes, Cosby Sweet, exactly. That was just Blizzard. Now keep in mind, Activision is like ABK is the main company, right? Activision Blizzard King. It's like Blizzard is, one of the top dogs, just like Activision. It's all one company, right? But most people like to think of them as separate. They're not. It's all one company. Bobby Kotick is the CEO. He's the top dog.
Right.
It was just unveiled this past week that all the bad stuff that was happening, that Bobby Kotick knew about it the whole time. And it's like, so all this like, oh, we're going to turn this company around and show how inclusive and awesome we are and stuff. It's like, it doesn't even matter anymore because he knew about it the whole time. Along with Blizzard, we also have Sledgehammer, who's just released Call of Duty Vanguard.
Yep.
And Treyarch are now thrown into the mix. The, Call of Duty Zombies people or the Call of Duty Black Ops people. They're now thrown in there. And Bobby Kotick apparently protected them. Like the leaders at the company who were doing bad things. So
because it's a damn culture, dude. It's a work culture that allows it to happen.
They are in a bad place right now. Along with that, so if you read this article from Destructoid, there it kind of sums up, but more and more things keep popping up. There was a walkout. Employees walked out. They basically said, we want Bobby Kotick out. There's a petition that over 1,600 employees in the company have signed wanting him out. Like say, we do not feel comfortable working here anymore. Get rid of Bobby Kotick. Not surprisingly, and I think we covered this a week ago or something like that, Bobby Kotick's really good at making money.
Mm-hmm.
So the board, like they are a publicly traded company. They're ran by a board of directors. The board stands by Bobby. They're like, no, he makes a freak ton of money and he stays. So we're kind of in this limbo right now where we don't really know what's happening. Now, Bobby is a multi-millionaire. He is a hundreds of millions of dollars that he is worth. He could leave the company and he'll be fine.
This is the classic dilemma between morals and money, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the classic, like, I don't know if you want to call it American way of things. Like, if it makes money, capitalism. If it makes money, how much money are we talking about to where it completely blows away any morals?
Yeah.
Right? So I totally get, like, from their perspective, what they're thinking about as far as, like, we don't want to lose out on any money. We have stakeholders and we have all this stuff that we need to be able to, and this would probably put a wrench in that. But the whole situation is like, you're feeling that way because this whole entire situation is going to be handled at that bottom layer where you guys are up here and you guys will never be prosecuted for any of that stuff.
Yeah, so he's Dog has it. You don't get to be the devil without loyal minions, exactly. So Bobby's being protected by the board right now. Like I said, the guy could retire. He could just leave he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, another thing that was cool that came up was so when Blizzard first got in trouble, and J. Allen Brack, who was the president of Blizzard at the time, when he left the company, and they promoted Mike Ibarra and Jen O'Neill to be like kind of co-presidents. It was Jen O'Neill recently left after like 2 weeks ago. She went to go join this like women's gaming charity thing. And basically, she also let it known that, oh, yeah, by the way, they didn't pay me as much as Mike Ibarra. And it was like, oh, just another slap in the face right there. It was like...
So, yeah. So to get this, to put this into perspective, by the way, we're not for or against. We're in the middle about this whole, like, don't think of us as, like, the cancel culture people, because we clearly see that there's extremes on both ends, right? So we try to look for it, and we don't get political here or anything like that, so we try to stay away from all. We don't do that here. We don't do so the thing with this is like, don't state that, oh well, this is just cancel culture coming at him again, and be like, that guy didn't do anything, he didn't touch those women and all that stuff. Now granted, take a look at it from a different perspective. I have daughters, right? I have kids who might want to do something like this at a company, and it's just like, when you put it in that perspective, it's just like, had this been the early 90s, NJ pays their employees fairly. Yes.
Look. We firmly believe in equal pay.
Equal pay.
Joel, myself, and Mel all make the exact same pay.
Exactly.
Which is nothing.
Same. We are equals here.
Yes.
We are equal partners.
Or Umbras is like, y'all are being paid? We don't get paid for nothing. We just do this for fun. Yeah.
Exactly.
So here's the thing. If you put it in that perspective, back in the 90s, most of that stuff got squashed and settled out of court. It's still being done that now, but it was private, right? It was like, hey, we can't put our company in a bad light, but we will get rid of the dude that did all this crap, or better yet, the one thing that they try to say all the time at any company is all like, the buck stops here, right? The top head guy is always the responsible one, because that's leadership. That's how that works, capitalism. Yeah. But when it doesn't benefit their narrative or it hits their paychecks, that's when they pay attention. Look at all the other companies that have just been like, we're not going to be playing Blizzard, or we're not going to be playing Overwatch or anything like that. And it's just like, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. And then all of a sudden it's just like, we're not buying anything anymore. We're going to actually head out. It's like, wait, we're changing the name now.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. Like, just be in the middle, like have a good moral standard one way or the other. Is just like, just stay right here in the middle. And I get it. Money runs the world, and it's sad, but I only feel for those women who had to go through this stuff.
No, like, this is horrible. He look, Blizzard or Activision, ABK, they need to kick him out just to save the company. Like, their stock price has tanked, like as anybody could see coming, which probably good time to buy Activision. But it's like, but like, they'll be fine if they get rid of him. They just won't, like, they won't make all of their money back as fast.
Right.
But if they get rid of him and show that they actually are attempting to be good, over time they will get back to a good place.
Yeah. I think it's always a good thing to look at a negative and just be like, there's an opportunity there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They could turn this around.
Yeah.
If
Mel,
but they're gonna have to get rid of him. That's
Mel as our lead female on this show, what goes on through your mind?
By the way, when you said that, I was like, I should make myself like head of female gaming initiatives or something like that.
This is why we have these
Clay, you're the head of our female gaming initiative. What do you think? It'd be like, I don't know. Will keeps nagging to me about stuff. I don't know. It's like
She says I don't listen, but I can understand what she was saying.
she was saying something about me not.
I wonder.
Oh my god.
My whole thought process is, like, I understand they want money and everything. Okay, he does make a lot of money and has good business ideas. But the thing is, if you are gonna have someone in that position who knew about all this shit, and you're getting a lot of people who are going against Blizzard right now, that's gonna go down further and further if you don't do anything.
Yeah.
That's terrible. So I don't think they're looking at it from that point of view.
No, they're not.
I think he's going to be gone here in like a week or two. Like I think that's the way this is going to resolve itself.
I just feel I feel like when these things happen, they're just perception moves, but in the backstage, they're still there. They're just getting money.
Well, they're gonna do a very, like, in my opinion, going to be very predictable. They're probably going to get rid of him, and they're going to bring in a female CEO.
Just to smooth that over and
just to be like, here you go.
Yeah.
You know.
Thank you,
Rob.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. 100 bits.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it's like I think they're going to get rid of him and bring in a female CEO, and then it's going to be like, and then this is going to take time. This is going to take time for them to get their reputation.
Right.
Well, Activision has a terrible reputation anyway, but like, it'll take time for them to build themselves back up on this, because next year is probably going to be Modern Warfare 2. That's Infinity Ward. Infinity Ward technically hasn't been called out in any of this yet. It's just Sledgehammer and Treyarch. So like,
which is kind of surprising, right? Like, does Infinity Ward like work autonomously aside from?
Well, they all work together. I mean,
Right.
they have their own office, which is like probably not in the same state or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, apparently, if you worked at Infinity Ward so far, you don't hate life.
It's kind of
So
like
that's
it's
cool.
kind of like the difference between like Ubisoft Montreal and all the other.
Yeah, I mean, like,
different
they're
studios.
all just different dev houses, but
Right.
it's like Infinity Ward. Technically, Call of Duty, their game comes out next year. The rest, it's like Activision is probably going to have a battle on their hands as far as making money for the next year, unless everybody ignores it and still just goes Call of Duty Warzone, bros.
Yeah,
You know, like,
we'll have to wait and see.
but with Halo out now, maybe people are going to jump ship and just go like, Halo, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Halo's a very different game than Call of
It's
Duty.
not about Royale, that's for sure, for like the
Yeah.
Warzone and stuff like that. But
And even
just
then,
depends.
if you brought your skill sets from Call of Duty, they don't translate too well to Halo gameplay. So you can't be like, you can't be doing the same tricks that you were doing. It's kind of like if you played a Call of Duty and then you started playing like a Battlefield. It just doesn't.
So basically,
translate
like,
well.
so basically, like Fortnite and PUBG are like hanging out in the background, like.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
it's like, we missed you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Here's some free
hey,
stuff.
have a seat. I saved your chair right there. There you go.
Mhm.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Here's a juice box.
Yeah, here you go.
Oh,
All
God,
right.
I just
Microtransactions. Enjoy.
I'm just gonna say this. I just saw Red Notice last night with Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson. That's actually a joke in there. Like, he goes on a plane, he's like, we got juice box for you.
Ooh,
And it's high C.
I love juice boxes.
Nice.
BT dubs. Speaking of high C, real quick tangent. Yesterday, Ghostbusters Afterlife came out. If anybody, what is it? I don't know if you guys remember this. Back in like the 80s, 90s. I'm old. I get it. Back in the 80s, 90s, IC did a little team up with Ghostbusters. They had a flavor called Ecto Cooler.
Was
It was in a
I
green
remember
box.
that.
It was green, but it tasted like orange.
Yep.
Right, and it was amazing, and it is like when I think about it, I can still taste it.
You can taste.
And-
Okay. Wait. So if the nutritional facts are correct, it's actually part
99% sugar.
1 part water, 5 times sugar. Got it. Yeah, that's it.
It's 98% sugar, 1% water, 1% orange flavoring. There you
Food
go.
coloring orange.
Yeah. Oh yeah, green food coloring. Yeah, but it's but yeah, so like Ecto Cooler has been kind of floating around lately because apparently High C is doing like events for Ghostbusters Afterlife, like special showings where they're giving it out. And High C is like, it's not being re-released, but we're just doing it for this special thing. And it's like,
No, you're not.
people my age go nuts and buy it like crazy whenever you do re-release it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Can you just re-release it, please? Like, it's like, come on,
It always
Like,
blows my mind. Like even remembering certain things in US history now. Like
yeah.
do you remember freaking out or the freak out that there was about Twinkies being discontinued?
Oh yeah.
I
That
saw
was-
a picture
Like,
of that
10 years ago or something like that. Like
Yeah.
people lost
Oh.
it, man. It was like,
Mel,
I
Mel,
actually
do you
still
recall
have
it?
that picture. I
yeah.
actually took a picture of when I used to work at the grocery store of the entire shelf being empty of Twinkies. I need to find that.
Bro.
Yeah, it's
Even in like movies, like if you look back at what was that zombie movie with Woody?
Zombieland.
Zombieland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole like shtick of that whole movie was, I just want to find some Twinkies.
No, it was the coconut ball.
No,
or
he
the
found a truck.
No,
and they were,
it was just all snowballs.
and they were all
Oh,
snowballs.
okay. All right.
But
All
he
right.
was always going around town to town looking for Twinkies.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is really good like marketing because I want Twinkies now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I couldn't tell you the last time I had a Twinkie. It was like they were, dude, that thing will kill you if you even try one. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So I was just
Like,
like,
all
why? This is America, right? This is
Yeah.
like, by the way, we're having some sort of social
There were.
network situation with the entire world, and everybody's going insane about being able to have their own opinions. But by the way, Twinkies are about to go instinct or
No, man.
extinct. Yeah.
Yeah. If you look closely, there were Twinkies with the snowballs. I saw the movie once. It was okay. But High C. When you said High C, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. By the way, High C, just re-release Ecto Cooler on me, okay?
Yeah.
Just be cool,
Yeah.
okay?
Now, if they released a drink like what was it from Futurama? Slurm? No.
Oh yeah, Slurm. Yeah,
It was a Slurm.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
If they released
that-
that,
the one that comes out of that slug's butt or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
and he was still drinking it. He was just like,
Yeah.
"That's great."
It's like, oh.
If anybody remembers that episode, Awesome
Futurama's
movie.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all
All
right.
right. Let's
move
get to the
on
last
next one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. We have a multiverses game, another clone, I guess, but different
So-
universe.
We talked about this on Rumor Control a few months ago. And this is like, I just wanted to throw it in here just as a follow-up, just so it's like, hey, it is real. This is the Warner Brothers Smash game that we talked about, where it has like Shaggy and Batman and some Lord of the Rings people, and it's like Bugs Bunny, and it's like, so this actually is a real thing. It wasn't just Rumor Control. This is called Multiverses. And I'm not a Smash fan. I haven't played the Nintendo one. I'm probably not going to play this one. If there's any Smash people out there, are we excited about this? Do we care? Do we need another Smash clone?
I don't know
What do
how
we think about
true
that?
this might be, but I think the Batman universe has now been in so many multiplayer or franchise games at this point now that it's just, they should win an award for most times in titles, because Batman is in almost everything. And the other thing that kind of like takes away from this is that Nickelodeon released theirs like a month ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, are y'all doing this for the cash grab, or what's going on? Are these actually viable games in the fighting game community eventually, or what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know, they look
Mugen is so much
polished.
better. Yeah.
they look polished. They just, I don't know how they play. And some of these characters are from a generation that I wasn't a part of. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think it's cool, but I also think that there's a dime a dozen out there now. And I don't know how popular this is gonna be.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, and they got Ultra Instinct Shaggy.
Ultra, yeah.
They worked that meme in there, bro.
Yeah.
Yep. That's awesome though. But yeah, what about this game? It's just all Warner Brothers characters.
Warner Brothers properties.
I don't see any of the Mortal Kombat guys in here. I think that would have been a bad idea with all these characters.
It's too cartoony for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm interested. Chat, are you looking forward to another Smash with different characters, or are you pretty much over the whole Smash crew? But yeah.
Most people are just gonna go to Smash.
Yeah. So one of our biggest highlights of every year is usually the Video Game Awards, but not for the same reason that you might think.
The Golden Keeleys.
Yes. Presented by Keeley, brought to you by Keeley. Make sure
Jeff Keeley presents
Jeff Keeley.
The Video Game Awards, brought to you by Jeff Keeley.
Yeah.
And now the Jeff Keeley Award for Best Jeff Keeley Interview about a video game.
Jeff Keeley.
Starring Jeff Keeley.
Okay, this is a little bit off topic. Have you guys seen Mr. Bean Goes on Vacation?
Oh yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
You remember the end of the movie, he goes to the movie festival of William Dafoe's movie, basically saying William Dafoe, presented by William Dafoe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, this is basically that in my head.
Yeah. Nodog says he just wants to see Jose Ferrez's next game from Hazelight. Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in a second, by the way. I linked an MSN article on here because if you go to the actual Game Awards website, by the way, you can vote for your choices on this stuff. If I don't know if you guys ever read the rules on this, you can vote. You can help vote for their nominees and everything like that, but people voting for the Game Awards, it only accounts for like 5% of the entire vote. It's like Jeff Keeley's friends who are like the nomination academy, their votes actually matter.
So
like
what's
ours,
the point?
not really. Jeff Keeley can be on camera. That's the point. But yeah, it's so this MSN page actually just lists out all the nominees at once. If you go to the Game Awards website itself, it's mostly like you have to click on each individual category to see all this. So this one's a little better. Nodog says It Takes Two is my game of the year. 100% agree. Given the games we have for game of the year, Deathloop, It Takes Two, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village, It Takes Two. That was already like when I played that earlier this year, I was already like, oh, this is game of the year quality stuff. Like this is really good. Like I'm interested to see what can beat this game. And in my personal opinion, Lost Judgment beat it. I think that's game of the year for me. But for these nominees that they have, It Takes Two was fantastic. I think everybody should play this.
Why?
Because it is a super fun co-op game.
Does it require a second person to play?
It does.
Yes.
It is forced co-op.
Do you understand that might go against it a little?
Yeah, but it's awesome.
I'm gonna take it away from the game.
Still need to play it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It is such a fun game.
The fact that you're requiring a second player to go through a single player game or a heavily driven single player game.
It's not a single player game.
Okay. Oh, well, you know what I mean. It's a story based game. Yes.
It is a story based game. But
okay.
Gears of War is story based and it has 4-player for Gears 3.
But you can play single player with that.
Look, Joe. Mel will play with you. Mel will play with you. I don't have to buy a second. You don't have to be alone. Yeah, which that's technically true. Only one person has to own the game.
Oh.
Yeah. Like it's basically they offer like
going for it.
You can download like the game client itself for free, but only the person who owns the game can start and host the session, and then they just invite the other person in.
I have to try this game then.
It is really, really good.
Is it on Xbox Game Pass?
Not yet. So Hazelight Studios was also made by, or they also made that game. Not It Takes Two. A Way Out, which was the other game
That's
just
right,
like this. It was a forced co-op game about these two guys like
the
escaping
prisoners
prison
and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember that.
So this is their studio. So like they might make their next game announcement at the Game Awards because they usually do a big show at the Game Awards. But this game is awesome. I like heartily. Oh, Brothers, Tale of Two Sons was another one. Yeah, it's good. You all should definitely go through it. Me and Cinderkin went through it, and it was like I remember the point where I said, oh, like we were playing it, we were trying to figure out this one puzzle in this area, and it was like once we did, I was just talking to him on the headset, and I was like, okay, this is a really damn good game, and he just started laughing, and he was like, dude, this is awesome. I gotta play. And I'm like, I know, like this is so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the game is super good. Deathloop is, I don't know why it's on Game of the Year. Metroid Dread, no.
You don't
Resident
think so?
Evil
Psychonauts
Village.
2 is on here. It made it. Double Fine's team made it on here.
Yeah, Resident Evil Village I thought was a good game, but not Game of the Year good. So like I don't like some of these nominations are like I just don't get it. Oh, and also best RPG and best I want to say it's music. Yeah, Cyberpunk has 2 nominations.
Surprising.
And it's like, really? Okay.
'Cause that's not
now,
what you...
Okay, best score in music, sure. Like I haven't listened to Cyberpunk because I haven't played it yet, but maybe the music is awesome. Maybe that's like the one thing that actually works in that game is like, the music. But yeah, like it's like, yeah, I think Cyberpunk's also best RPG, and it's like, why?
Other notable awards here: best VR AR, Hitman 3 from IO Interactive, and Resident Evil 4 and Sniper Elite VR, Lone Echo 2 and I Expect You to Die. I don't know what those are.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I will say, before I played It Takes Two, like my game of the year, even though it was January, it didn't even matter at that point. I was Hitman 3, which is on there for the best VR game. Hitman 3 is awesome. Like that game was a lot of fun, and I'm sure it's awesome in VR as well. So it's like that game was great. And then I was like, hey, Hitman 3 is my game of the year so far. It was like early January.
Yeah.
And then It Takes Two came out, and I was like, no contest. Like, get out of here. 47.
Yeah, best role-playing game, I'm gonna call it. It's gonna go to Monster Hunter Rise. At least
that game is so popular.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But again, this is Jeff Keighley's voting, not anyone, not the people who play them. Just
which
this
company will give him the most money?
Yeah, best role playing. Yeah, Monster Hunter Rise is so popular. It'll probably be that or Shin Megami Tensei 5 because that game's really popular right now.
Yeah.
Scarlet Nexus, which is on there for best RPG, that game was boring as crap. I don't know why that's even on there. I quit that game after like 4 hours. I was like, this is awful. But yeah, some of these games are like really good, and
is
some
New World even on here? Oh, I don't. Oh, yes, it is. Best multiplayer for New World. Debatable. Back for Blood, it was pretty good. Monster Hunter Rise is also on here, and Valheim, which I would think that Valheim and Monster Hunter are in the running again for this one. But It Takes Two is also on here. So again, when we think about multiplayer, we're not just talking about like massively online multiplayer. We're also talking about like just couch co-op or even online co-op.
Yeah.
So crazy. Yeah, I mean, I'd root for New World because I'm biased like that, but you guys are making it sound like It Takes Two is must play right now. Like
I absolutely loved it. The game's amazing. The Game Awards are coming up here in like 3 weeks. It's on December 9th. It's always on a Thursday night. So we'll probably be covering it that Game News Live, but it's going to be, I mean, if you've watched any of the Game News or the Game Awards in the past, it's all new trailers, all new stuff that's being worked on, a few interviews here and there. And I mean, overall, it's an okay show. It's just, you'd have to sit there and watch Jeff Keighley talk about himself for like 2 hours. And it's like, okay.
And then I'm sure we're gonna get the tribute to his Lord and Savior Kojima again.
And then he's gonna be like, let's see what my best friend Mr. Kojima's up to, and he's gonna be
By
like,
the way,
I am still making terrible walking games.
By the way, Kojima, tell me about everything that you're working on right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's. That's pretty much it for the game news this week, huh?
That's it, man.
Not a lot, but
Nope.
diamonds. Okay, we got some good articles in there. Shylor says It Takes Two is good. It's amazing how you think you are like 30 minutes from the end, and they give you even more.
It Takes Two is awesome. You all need to play it. It's so
wow.
good. Not access. Maybe Abandoned will be shown. LOL. That's that stupid game, Mel. With the freaking like
the best trailer ever.
I have the Abandoned experience thing. I have it installed on my PS5. It doesn't do anything. It's like,
no.
Oh yeah, here's 3 seconds of a guy walking. It's
True
like,
story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. You know.
You
like,
now remember how PT started?
Yeah.
Do that. Come on.
Like, what's the purpose of this thing? I mean, granted, there are rumors that like Abandoned's going to be the new Silent Hill game, or it's going to be like, you know, the new Metal Gear game or something like that. It's like, whatever. Like, just do something with it. Jeez.
Well,
it's
as the gaming community, we just have to be a hive mind of sorts, right? Like, the only way that these things are ever going to be listened to is if it hits their pocketbook. So when we say no pre-orders, that's exactly what we mean. Don't pre-order the crap. Don't touch it. Don't do anything. And you'll be sending a clear message like, why aren't people pre-ordering our stuff? Let's go look at the message boards.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what it says here. Oh, they didn't like that.
Oh,
I didn't know about that. Did you know about that? I didn't know. I wasn't reading it. Okay. I guess we'll change that now.
Who's watching the Twitter account?
We
So I was like,
what?
don't look at me. I haven't logged into that thing in 4 years.
Yeah. Squally being a community, I guess, manager and whatnot. He's definitely one of those more hands-on people that is just like taking positive and negative feedback and really like trying to translate it to a team. But it's just like, I can only imagine how hard it is to try to translate and have that role in a video game company and try to be like, but they don't want that. But they don't want it. Stop trying to make that cool. They don't want that. Oh yeah, you know, pop-ups that you close once and then every single time you boot the game, they come back up. Yes, New World, we don't want that. Please just remember that we acknowledge the message. Stop putting it on our pop-ups. But things like that, right? Like, if you know that something is going to work and you have the community that wants those things in video games, like, then listen, because it's only going to translate to more money. Just saying. But whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chats, we welcome you for joining us. We're always on the Discord. We're 24/7 on there. At least some of us are, because I believe Clay has it on his phone. So if you just at him, he usually jumps on, be like, "You're wrong." And then Mel's always streaming.
Yeah.
I believe last night she was streaming. What was the game you were streaming, Mel?
Dead by Daylight.
Right. But then it came in as a notification to me as Halo multiplayer.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, sweet, some Halo. I'm going to see Mel, you know, like.
Teabagging fools.
Yeah.
But I switched it to Dead by Daylight. I don't know why it was showing for that. I guess because when I just started.
I believe you. Because remember, I get the same crap too from Clay about how, oh, it still says this. But it's like, I've changed it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. We thank everyone for joining us this week. Again, Discord, we got a 100 followers giveaway going on right now. Make sure you check us out at nerdjunkies.com. We have all our links there. We're slowly growing the community, and we hope that you will share this out to other people so that way we can grow even further. Our goal is just basically to be able to talk about our favorite nerdy things, and then just that's it. We don't do ads or nothing like that.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
COVID
now,
has
if we're
really
gonna
brought
sponsor
out
stream,
the social, antisocial part of me.
Like, jump in the gaming chat and just Like, listen to me talk about how great Vice City Definitive Edition is.
Or how Kojima has really fallen off or something like that.
And how Kojima has broken my heart, but I will forgive him.
He just has to be like...
Once he makes a good game again, which hasn't happened in the past 5 years.
Yeah. Do you think Konami's going to come out on this one with the Video Game Awards, something? Some announcement?
Well, that's the thing. So like there are rumors that they're working on Silent Hill and Metal Gear, like remakes, reboots, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So they could come out with something like they're not going to make money off of the Castlevania GBA collection forever. So at some point they're going to need to put a new video game out. That's not a crappy Contra game or like, something, I don't know. Like if they made a Metal Gear game, which was actually good, none of that survive trash, but like if they actually made a decent Metal Gear game or like a new Silent Hill game, they would make some money.
Right.
Yeah.
I think because Konami has a hand in the gambling industry and they have a stick in the video game industry, they're starting to realize that their demographic is starting to turn more into the video game era adults, right?
Yeah.
And so now it's just like, oh crap, we're not making as much money with our Pachinko machine. Well, no, that's not true. That's probably like their biggest seller.
Pachinko makes a ton of money. Pachinko and that's overseas, but like here in America, it's like Konami slot machines and video poker and stuff. Like those make a ton of money.
The only place I've ever seen Pachinko machines is like city underground, like gambling, like little buildings that they do poker and Pachinko, and just in Asian communities.
Bring back Bayou Billy. Oh my god, what a horrible game. If they could figure out how to make the light gun work with that, then they might have something. But that is
Nintendo will never bring those games back.
The Adventures of Bayou Billy on the NES. Yeah, that is a terrible game.
But yeah, bring all the video game and technology and nerdy communities over to us, and we'll chat about it on the Discord. Make sure you hit up nerdjunkies.com and check out our social network. And that's pretty much it. We'll see you next week for the next podcast. I think this is our 50th podcast since we've returned. So
oh my.
Yeah. So we've been doing
Wait
this.
a minute.
What?
Oh, this is right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have it labeled wrong in the notes.
What? What'd
this
you do?
Is 50 right now.
Yeah, we're at 50.
How about that?
It's all right. As the age goes, certain things start to go.
Who said that?
It's okay, Grandpa. It's okay. Just don't worry about
Who
your
are
hair.
you people? Why are you on my TV?
Now we're having a midlife crisis.
I'm gonna go tell this on my CPU.
That's it. I'm sending a word to the marshal right now.
To the internet police. All right, let's get out of here. Thanks everyone for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Drink your high C, Grandpa.
Drink
I wish.
All right, see you later, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Later.
I wish I had some.